Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome to the 2018 Founders Cup here in Akwesasne, Quebec, in the Turtle Dome. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Pat Gregoire today. A semifinal for the Tier 2 Championship, the Saskatchewan SWAT and the Calgary Shamrocks hitting the turf in just a moment. We're going to take a look at our players to watch for the day. And Calgary is coming off an incredibly disappointing loss, where all they had to do, frankly, was lose by fewer than 6 goals to the Coquitlam Adanacs. Gave up 2 goals in the final minute to make it 14-7, drop them out of contention for the gold medal, which you just wonder, and that was coming off an emotional overtime win over Seneca the night before, which was a huge win, but you wonder what they've got left in the tank emotionally as well as physically as we get late in the week.
Yeah, I mean, just the way watching their warm up and the way that they were carrying themselves, they did look defeated. But I was talking to their coaching staff, and they said, you know what, tiebreaker rules, unfortunate had to come to that, but we had the game in our hand. It was our fate, and we let it slip through our hands. Now we know what we need to do. Not many teams can end their season with a win, so that's what their goal is to do.
That's true.
Might not be the gold in the medal that they're wanting, but nonetheless a high note to end the season.
So we are getting ready, and Saskatchewan on the other side is, oh, hey, there's Brian Houghton, our player to watch for the Calgary Shamrocks. And the things that he has been bringing to this team, a lot of grit, the assist to set up that overtime, the goal that sent them to overtime with seconds remaining. He gets in, he bangs around, but great vision as well while he's banging. Kind of in that sense, like a Sean Evans, not in the way he plays, but just in that he can be in the middle of getting hit or hitting someone and still see what's going on.
Yeah, he's very strong on the ball. That's why you see 12 assists there near the top of the scoring. And for Saskatchewan, Dryden Quinn, 5 points in 3 games for him. You had a nice conversation with him. He's a very intelligent lacrosse player on and off the floor, and he's one of these leaders on this team. I think Saskatchewan came in with much lower expectations than the Shamrocks, but they both find themselves in the same situation here, vying for a Tier 2 championship.
The refs, Mark Thompson from Ontario, Wes Kendall from Alberta. I'm going to go with Alberta.
That works.
Hey, I got it right. All right. It's nice to be right sometimes. The standby in the booth, actually standing up. And there is Chris Tallchief. And we're getting set to get underway. Calgary's going to get possession. Eli Cross with the ball. And they come into the offensive zone. There's a pass across to the top.
We'll see loose ball here now. Battle. Both two teams are crashing and banging, still trying to figure out what exactly is who's going to win this loose ball battle, and instead no one picking up the ball, and Calgary going to stay with possession here. So almost a minute into the game, and we don't have anything to speak for it except for that one shot there by Connor Pupp, who has been one of the elite stars of this tournament, leading his Shamrocks team with 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points, goaltenders. Eric Dirksen making that save, and of course, no Jared Ferris, as we've mentioned. Nicholas Solanovic going to get the start, so Jared Ferris getting a deserved break, and his first save by Solanovic, the first action we've seen, and a beautiful pass off the bench right to his captain. That's Colby Fraser, another standout of this tournament, 7 goals, 4 assists for him. Fraser with it now, little toe drag, rolls away, looking for his options, doesn't see anything, so he's going to call his number, ringing it to the rack. Shot just wide, 6 seconds on the clock, couple of players pulled to the bench. Big body now taking that shot. That's big number 16, Logan Sunholm, who's had himself a pretty solid tournament, 6 points in 3 games, but it's the crashing and banging that has been the big boost for his Calgary team. Talon Badaway using that speed, running to the middle, takes that shot. Another nice stop there by Selanovic. And throwing a big pick there is Selanovic. Transition opportunity now for the Shamrocks, and he'll get this to our player to watch, Brian Houghton. Houghton with it, waiting. With a chance now, nice fake over to Bryce Trimmer. Trimmer dodging, still looking for a chance. He takes that shot. Eric Dirksen with a big stop.
Dirksen, one of the better goaltenders in this tournament, despite the Saskatchewan record and the fact that they're here in this spot. It's just I thought the team has come out with very little momentum and very little energy throughout their first couple games.
That's the voice of Matthew Carrick you hear here as he steps in, taking the color commentary duties for a mere short time. Shamrocks on the rush. That's Robson Ramsey. Feeds that one out in front. Shot turned aside by Eric Dirksen. We've had a few chances back and forth for both these teams, and both goaltenders have shown pretty strong. I think, Matt, you know, the goaltending has been one of the sneaky, strong storylines. I don't think there's been one weak goaltender, regardless of the record of play. I think North Shore and this Saskatchewan team is perfect. Both teams looking for their first win, and we have a chance here. That's Nicholas Drennan in all alone. Shot stings off the post. That one rattles some metal, but a good loose ball. Battle won by Colby Fraser, El Capitano of the Shamrocks team.
Yesterday when we saw Calgary play at 2 o'clock, they were saying that they weren't, they're not used to playing this early because back home, that's, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Some guys haven't done it since midget.
Yeah.
So interesting to see what their energy level is like. We thought it would be more adrenaline dump after the 8 p.m. overtime game. But Saskatchewan, this is their third morning or part of the two in the morning slots that they've had to play here in this tournament.
Matty Wiss with a beautiful spin chance, and his shot just goes high of the cage. Another fast break opportunity. This is Declan Mulholland, who's been a nice spark plug for this athletic unit. We'll see Eli Cross, one of the better face-off men in this tournament. Feed from Bryce Trimmer just goes a little wry. Eli again, Cross with the shot. Big stop once again by Dirksen. Dirksen just lobs that pass off the bench, and that one finds the pride of Welland, Ontario. That would be Talon Badaway. Ethan Kennedy looking for his option. He finds Badaway. Badaway, nice little give pass there to the middle. That's Mitchell Jeffroy. Ball now still at the top. Talon Badaway with that patented underhand release. With the neon head and the baby blue gloves, you can see it from the other side of Cornwall Island. We'll get another look here as you see great ball movement. One little fake. Talon Badaway, 2 white jerseys in the way of Nicholas Selanovic, giving him a hard time to see a shot that's hard to read anyways with that awkward release. The sub shot, as the folks out west would call it. Talon Badaway with another chance. Spin move, underhand shot once again, but Selanovic gets the better part of that shot this time.
What a tournament for Badaway. He's really come in and shown some chops.
Certainly has, as I mentioned, playing with the Welland Generals in the OJBLL. But back here, 2 RMLL teams are in action. And we've got ourselves a 1-0 game. The SWAT currently holding that 1-0 lead.
Badaway shoring down that left side of the offense. Really just a calming presence. You can see every time he gets that ball, there's no panic. And that's what he can bring to the table. If they're late in the shot clock, he can take that big rip. Otherwise, he's looking for a pass, and he's got great vision as well.
One of the JVI crew members who's not with us here, Spencer Tanguay, sending us a tweet yesterday asking how many underhand rips his fellow general, or former general, I should say, had. And I told him I think every single goal he's scored has been below his waist. Fast break the other way. Trimmer tries to find his man on the crease can't do it. But once again, Bryce Houghton picking up the loose ball. He has been great at that. Trimmer with it now. Looking for someone to pass to. I don't know if that was meant to be a fadeaway pass to the far corner or a shot. Regardless, misses by quite a bit. Houghton now fires that one over. Just a little muffin in the morning for Eric Durson, as he'll have no problem stopping that shot.
A lot of traffic in front there for Dirksen, and I think that confused Calgary a little bit too, as Saskatchewan really plugged it up in the middle, and there was really no shot opportunity. Great defense there to get the shot clock violation.
We'll have a chance here for Grey Eyes. Nice little flip pass, but an even better play by Isaac Wenekers. Wenekers throws that up. That's Eli Cross in transition. He's deadly with those quick feet. Too quick for him, and the broken play works out for the Shamrocks as the ball squirts loose. And who else but Colby Fraser putting away the garbage. We'll see here, Colby Fraser going to get this, but not before Eli Cross. Like I said, crosses himself up, but Colby Fraser, what a tournament he has had. 8 goals now, 12 points, and I think almost every single goal has come off a broken play, come off a rebound, or something where he has had to react to a play.
Yeah, and that's really shows off the creativity of a player when you're not in the set and you can just react on the fly to something that breaks down and use your vision and use your natural ability to get in there and get a goal, and now we're all tied up here.
Very good point there, Matt. Sundholm takes that shot. We'll have another possession here for the Shammies. Outside rip, turned aside by Eric Dirksen once again, having a strong tournament here. Nice loose ball pick up by Dylan Lavoie as he sends 2 Shamrock players flying. And of course, lots of eyes on Grey Eyes here. Talked to a few GMs across the OJBLL, and they've got their eyes on him. Speaking of which, good job on the Shamrocks. Kane Knowlting, actually I'll have to see, there's someone wearing number 17. So transition chance the other way. Nice pass to the middle, but a big save by Dirksen turns that one aside. Rebound picked up there by the Shamrocks. Shot from the outside, that's Robson Ramsey. That ball goes all the way down, still 20 seconds left on the clock. Connor Pup over to the far side. That's Cale Lundell. He's back in the game after missing yesterday's matchup. And good defense here by the Shamrocks. Possession going the other way.
Saskatchewan, welcome back, folks. I'm
back.
back and just had to go and deal with things for a minute there. Wasn't feeling too well, but I'm ready to roll. The Saskatchewan SWAT go back to the offense, and once again, Badaway has the ball, but that one's picked off immediately by Colby Anderson, and the Shamrocks will be running the floor, trying to take their first lead of the game here. Up top, there's a shot by Eli Cross, and we go back in the other direction. Quick pace now to the game as Aaron Grey Eyes gets on his horse, hands it off, and you can see he's always looking for that opportunity when he gets up, but then he's ready to just hand the ball off and get back to his defensive role as necessary. But I think most people are looking at him as a forward.
Yeah, I think so too, although it does show that he can play both sides, so he's not going to be a liability if he does get caught in reverse transition.
Matt Wist holding on as the shot clock is about to wind down. He's just going to flick it behind his back, and Calgary will go back to the possession. Ball in the stick of James Johnston. Watch for the bouncer with him. He loves that long bounce shot. Scored 2 huge goals in the win over Seneca. And he tries it again, but nice defense getting out on him by Preston Woodkey. And his stick has snapped in half. That's very dispiriting for a lacrosse player when the shaft breaks. Not as bad as when the head breaks. That's your baby, is the head.
Not too sure how many sticks they were able to travel with as well. So I'm sure he has a backup, but if he broke one already throughout the week, I think he's going to be borrowing someone else's backup stick.
Dryden Quinn takes the ball. You'll be talking with him in the first inning. Oh, no, I talked to him yesterday.
Yes,
Never mind. I'm catching up. There's Wist. Quick flick across. Shot attempt. There is the save. And Calgary will head back as Connor Pup picks it up, just runs through a check. Absolutely blasting his way over Quinn. Little stutter step, spins, dangles all the way through, goes behind the back. Actually drawn quite a bit of attention. Generally, Pup in those situations seems to find the open man, but he really felt like he had a shot there. There's a shot from the outside by Jack Dunn. Or sorry, by Brian Houghton. No, Robson Ramsey.
There you go.
It's not used to him being up on offense. It's messing me up.
Yeah, no, they decided to shake some things up. Ramsey usually going out the back door, but seen him play some offense, and he's kind of creating some space for others.
Speaking of coming up on offense, Aaron Greyeyes is cutting to the middle. He'll take that pass, and a nice shot to the far side, but a great shoulder save there by Nicholas Solanovic. Penalty coming to the Shamrocks on the forecheck, so Calgary has an extra attacker. Solanovic quickly off to the bench. Colby Fraser at the top. Sundholm opens up some space for a shooting lane. It is turned aside, and we will have a Calgary power play.
Mark Thompson out of the OLA, calling the slash from Jack Dunn. So Dunn's going to sit down for 2, and we'll see if the Shamrocks can take a lead here. We'll see the replay right here. That first slash there just coming right over the wrist and deeming a 2-minute penalty.
So with the score 1-1, we've had a series of low-scoring early games in the last day and a half. The defenses and goaltenders pairing to catch up to the offenses. Calgary's going to see if they can use their power play to break things open a little bit. Pup runs in, cross to the top. There's a shot from a Sundholm. That was well wide, and it'll be tracked down by Eric Lemire. They've got 5 seconds on the shot clock, so Lemire goes to the bench, as does Sundholm. That shot misses from Pup, and Saskatchewan will get possession.
Right idea from Pup there. Shot just hooks on him a little bit there, but the way that Eric Dirkson's been playing, not just today, all tournament long, it's going to have to be a better take than that.
And Eric Dirksen signals that he needs a bit of water. We've been stopping around the midway point of every period in this tournament. It is very muggy, very humid in the Turtle Dome. Not so bad today. Had a bit of a storm, a bit of that rain shower, cleared things out a little bit. We would like to thank all of our sponsors, and today we're looking at Sullivan Construction. Established in 1914, Sullivan is making the Founders Cup possible.
I was actually I was talking to Matt last time. Sullivan was our game sponsor, and Sullivan was also the construction company that helped vitalize that beautiful stadium in Queens where the Bagataway Cup was held last year.
Well, there you go. I did not realize that. (1-1) with 1:15 to go in the penalty, and Matthew West is enduring some hardships, but hangs on to the ball. Lundell and Mulholland all over him. Now they've got him a little pin, trying to push him out of the line, and Wist, that is amazing strength and great footwork, and now he tosses over to Badaway and stays. I thought he was going to head to the bench. Oh, he is heading to the bench. I was going to say, go take a break, young man. You've earned it. Badaway with the swim move, goes through everybody, gets to the net, misses. Oh, that would have been glorious for Badaway.
I think that might be the first overhand shot that we've seen him take all tournament long.
That may be. He's going to have to go back to the underhand. Trying to fight through the double team there is Dawson Garvey. He's repelled, but hangs onto the ball, pinned along the boards now. Cradles up high, just drops it over behind the 2 defenders. 20 seconds left on the power play as Robson Ramsey will run the floor.
Now you see Robson Ramsey playing some defense in his more natural position.
Quick shot by Lemire. It looked like he was waiting for everyone to get together and then saw a lane and just let her fly. Quick cut The pass in behind the back. Nice finish by Colby Fraser. Almost a casual BTB just inside the post for the 2-1 lead on, I don't know. I think it was a power play. It may have just ended, actually.
I think it may have just expired, but regardless, it's a beautiful goal. As you say, that casual BTB. Just finished telling Matt, it seems like every single goal Colby Fraser scores, it's a reactionary, whether it be off a loose ball or rolling off a pick. It's never anything really set up, slowed down. And that just shows how smart of a lacrosse player he is.
Yeah, even the huge goal he scored the other night that we've talked about a lot was one where on the set play he got a shot off, missed. Here's Badaway. He's going to spin. Oh, there's the underhand one-handed. He's stepping up the ante. That's a beauty by Badaway.
That's a massive answer here from the SWAT as well. And Badaway's unbelievable tournament continues coming into this game. 6 goals. I think he had more. This might be the nicest one, and then throws out the, are you entertained?
We are. I think it's fair to say.
As I mentioned, 6 goals. I think they have 2 assists for him. On my account, I think he had 8 coming into here today.
Yeah, the stats page still being updated gradually. Brian Houghton working his way through, tries to lever a pass over to Fraser, doesn't connect, but he does chase it down. Back to Fraser, a little hip pick. Lemire is going to try a very, very similar shot to Badaway's, the little sidearm around the defender, but can't quite get it on the net. And Saskatchewan will take over.
It's been a little bit of a frustrating tournament for Eric Lemire, one of the top players in all of RMLL lacrosse, just 6 points in 3 games. I'm sure most players would be pleased with that stat line, but
here goes John Geib. 1-on-1, he's got a trailer. Opts to try and go in himself and is toppled to the turf. He's actually very close to the crease there with his elbow and then his toes, but eventually they hang on to it and get the ball out top. Trimmer thinking about a shot, passes it over instead. Houghton, he's loading up. They've got 6 on the shot clock. That one's going to go up and over the net. And Dirksen will just leave it there.
SWAT team's got to be feeling good after that close loss to Allure. It had to be a confidence booster. Obviously, never happy with a loss, but when you're hanging in there with a team like Allure, you got to be pleased.
Yeah, a lot of people surprised by how close that game was. But Saskatchewan, I mean, they are building something here. And we saw a huge win this morning for the North Shore Kodiaks. Very excited for them. Obviously not what the Medicine Men were hoping. There's a shot from the outside on the run by Pup. It's stopped by Dirksen. Comes back out to Sundholm, but he is stripped, but just rolls out the back of his stick with a little bit of contact. They get it back, and they've got 20 seconds, plenty of time on the shot clock. And another casual goal by Colby Fraser. This one does come from the set offense, but he just steps in and drifts one. A bit of a change up over the shoulder to the far side.
His strong Founders Cup campaign continues. Nice little fake. And yeah, like you said, just kind of throws that one on net. Precision shooting from Colby Fraser. He has been one of the brightest stars of this Junior B National Championship. It's number 10 on the tournament for him.
Makes it 3-2, and Calgary will have possession again immediately off the faceoff. Houghton taking his time as he strolls down, gives it off to Sundholm. Nice movement. There's a cut by Fraser and another goal. Nothing casual about that one. That was a sharp cut, and then the precision placement back against the grain.
Yeah, it's now really starting to feel like this Shamrock team is playing with some urgency here, and that's just perfect ball movement. A great back cut by Fraser. And like you said, nothing casual about that one. He tried to rip that one through the twine.
4-2, Calgary doubling up Saskatchewan, they're getting on a bit of a roll, and we've seen this from them. They can get going and score in bunches. Saskatchewan need to focus on just avoiding letting those gaps open up. They're having, I mean, the behind the back was almost a identical play where he just cut through the middle and got ahead of his defender, and nobody picked him up. In this case, he was wide open on the BTB. He had to do that because somebody was stepping to him at least. Ball still loose along the boards.
Like I said, Fraser, just a very high lacrosse IQ.
And Calgary will be awarded possession, much to the chagrin of, oh, do we have actually a penalty?
Yep.
We do, okay. That's Gray Eyes heading off. It's gonna be illegal cross check, and not surprising from an extended scrum along the boards. That's Gray Eyes right here closest to us. That was it.
Yep.
A little cross check in the lower back. That's an unprotected area. And
I'm sure these players have been warned, because we know that that's one of the things that the officials coming into this tournament we're going to keep a closer eye on. And I know the coaches for sure relayed that message to their players.
There's a chance for Fraser. Make it 4. Colby Fraser is on fire.
Make it 5.
He's got all 5 of them?
All 5 goals coming from Colby Fraser.
Wow. Yeah, I missed the one. My goodness.
We'll see it here again. Beautiful ball movement just from the outside, and Saskatchewan just getting caught ball watching once again as Colby Fraser makes that beautiful little backdoor cut.
Very different energy on the Calgary bench today as they get rolling here than we saw yesterday when they were kind of shell-shocked by the assault that the Coquitlam Adirondacks put on them. And I mean, that game, it was so interesting because it was close. Coquitlam had to win by a bunch. Calgary knew their situation, basically. And it was 3-3 after a period, only because of a late Coquitlam or Calgary goal. But it was 3-3, and then 8-7 after 2 periods. And then the onslaught ensued. Here's Talon Badaway trying to get Saskatchewan rolling again. Gray Eyes didn't see that pass coming at all. He's just going to keep running off to the bench. With 5 seconds left on the shot clock, Dawson Garvey is just waving his teammates off to towards the bench. He's going to get a shot off, lose a shoe, pick it up, head to the bench. And Saskatchewan will get a 5th defender out.
As noted, Solanovic in between the pipes for Calgary, and he's been pretty good so far.
Sundholm's shot took off. I don't think he was able to get the follow through he was looking for, and it drifted high on him. Long run by Brody Uzakapi. I've been looking forward to Uzakapi playing all tournament. That is a cool name. I just wanted to say. I hope Matthew Carrick is taking note and putting him in on the all-name team. Steal. There's a steal. Lundell in the middle takes the pass. Quick shot to the save by Dirksen. Not a great angle by the time there was a lane to pass that through. Trimmer did a nice job getting it to him. Now he's going to go on his own, try and get a shot off. He's turned aside by a couple of Saskatchewan defenders. It's a pretty aggressive pick from Lundell, who's taking some offensive shifts as well here today. Normally a big, sturdy defender, and there's Robson Ramsey in the same boat, fighting for that loose ball, and they'll have a fresh 30 once he picks it up. Lemire. Cross to cross. Cross takes a couple of swats there, tries to feed it through, gets it to Trimmer. He'll bounce one, and Dirksen just inches down onto his stick as he felt that was in his pad. He just wanted to keep it there. We've got 35 seconds to go. Pat Gregoire has gone down board side to be ready for his interview. And Pat, the one fun thing about getting down there is you see how quickly everyone's moving, how fast and how intense the play really is. Badaway is going to let one fly. That little, just slightly lower than sidearm. stopped. 6 seconds to go. Oh, and Solanovic had that one hooked coming out of the stick. It does get through to James Johnston. He's going to run out of time before he can get a shot off, though. And we will go to the first intermission with the score 5-2 in favor of the Calgary Shamrocks over the Saskatchewan SWAT. Pat Gregoire is down on the hunt for his interview subject. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Pat Gregoire. This is JVI Sports Network's presentation of the 2018 Founders Cup. We're very excited to have you along with us. And right now, Pat has along with him Matt Wist. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I'll join alongside Matt Wist. Matt, you guys were off to a pretty hot start. You had a great game yesterday in Elora. Do you feel like maybe that was a confidence boost for the team going forward in this tournament?
Yeah, it was huge. A team coming out of Ontario, winning their league, it's a big thing to run with them like that. Today's a little bit, I think we're coming a little cold, but I think we're going to come back after the next two periods.
Now, your goaltending all tournament long has been huge. How big of a confidence booster is it for you on offense, knowing that he'll be able to hold down the fort while you guys start getting clicking out front?
Oh, it's huge. He's been unreal for us this whole tournament throughout the season. Both our goaltenders are doing good this season. It's great to have him in our net.
Now, some of you didn't have all season long is Talon Badaway. It seems, though, like you two have really gained some chemistry together. What's it been like to playing with him?
Oh, it's amazing. Having another lefty come in that's put up that many points in a season, it's huge for our team.
All right, I'll let you go and get ready for the rest of the game. Matthew Wist of the Saskatchewan SWAT will look to see if he can build some momentum going into the second period here on JVI Sport Network. Don't you change that channel because you have lots to see left.
Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the Turtle Dome. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. This is JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2018 Founders Cup 5-2 after one period, largely because of this man right here.
Some outstanding performances that we've seen all tournament long. I mentioned it once and I'll say it again. Colby Fraser has been one of the biggest standouts here in Akwesasne. And once again, 5 goals in just one period of play.
Not a bad period, eh?
No, not too bad at all.
Saskatchewan is gathered down in their crease. They'll try to work their way back. They need to contain him. Calgary would like to just keep things rolling. They'll realize that they need to get some other people involved in the offense. We'll see how it plays out as we continue with this Tier 2 semifinal here at the Founders Cup in Akwesasne. Thanks to everyone who is watching and tweeting us. I am at StampLax. Pat is at P. Greggy. And JVI is at JVI Video. So follow us all. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're watching. Hey to Spencer Tangway, who's watching today. Calls his share of lacrosse games as well. And he's getting a chance to watch today. We have a player down in the middle of the floor. And Cale Lundell just surprised Eric Lemire by passing the ball when he was pretty convinced, along with the rest of us, that Lundell was going to take that shot.
That was Matt Wist going down there and he slams the gate. Not feeling so hot. Hopefully he's okay. He's been arguably one of the best all-around players for this team as you see him stay down there on that replay.
Lemire tries to get it across to Johnson, who is out there with a new stick. We'd have to go and do some sleuthing to find out whether that's one of his own or if he had to borrow one after his starting twig broke late in the first half. Aaron Greyeyes will hand the ball off as we're nearing the first minute of play being over in the second period here. There's Dryden Quinn. Thought about the shot, wasn't there. Throws it across, and Curtis Pfeiffer is going to have a go. That was behind the net, but Solanovic able to walk around and pick it up. There's one of the differences you will see if you're used to watching National Lacrosse League action. He had all the time in the world because the offensive player cannot reach into the crease to pick up a loose ball. That pass doesn't connect, and here come the SWAT once again. Caden Ludwig going for a run. He is slowed down and will wait for his cohort to arrive. Still has the ball. Now it gets knocked out of his stick. Winds up eventually bouncing back to him.
Looks
Ludwig,
like Matt Witt's okay.
Yeah, he's determined to hang on to that ball. Gets a shot off. That one's turned aside by Solanovic. Now his opposite number 24, Colby Anderson, going for a sprint. He'll pass it off, and Sundholm takes a shot. Dirksen with the save. Flings one, long high pass. You can do so much as a goalie here in the Turtle Dome with its beautiful high ceiling. That one was actually, had it been right down the middle, that would have hit the scoreboard. That was really high. Quinn. They move to the far side. Badaway looking for somebody in the middle. Greyeyes is turned aside, so Badaway lets it rip underhand. Mulholland, long outlet pass, has Lemire on the run, dives to the net. Nice save, Dirksen leaving the shoulder behind. Greyeyes overruns the ball, and Fraser picks it up. The Shamrocks get the ball back immediately.
There's no doubt the Shamrocks team just has a little bit more jump in their step than the SWAT does right now. Might not be competing in that top tier, but nonetheless, they're acting like their gold medal ambitions are still alive.
That's impressive. Coming out and playing with energy and spark, even when you felt like you had a chance at a gold medal. Oh my goodness. Brody Yazakapi is, I'm not sure why he's looking at the official, but that shot or pass just went off the side of the head of Yazakapi's stick and straight into the net.
Well, we'll see it here, and to make matters worse, that shot goes off the stick and in as the buzzer sounds.
I think it was clearly in before, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think it adds to how more defeating it is that as the buzzer sounds, you know, if you were 1 second earlier, would have been a 30-second clock kill.
West is back out to take another face-off, and he wins it cleanly to himself. But great effort there by Cade Lundell. So if you think we're repeating ourselves, that was Cade, K-A-D-E Lundell, number 20. It's his brother Cale, his number 10. They're a year apart. Fraser went over. Looks like he may have turned his ankle a bit. He's moving okay back to the bench. Meanwhile, Nick Conway goes for a run, tries to shovel the ball over, can't quite get it to Bryce Stewick. And here come the Shamrocks, and there is Cale Lundell. Loading up and ripping his Lemire. That's going to bounce almost back to him, but it's picked off by Caden Ludwig. Ludwig sees some pressure, navigates through, trying to find his help. Drops the ball as he's about to make a shovel pass, though. Loose ball foul, and Saskatchewan will get possession. Kennedy had a lane, but it was closed off, so he tried to pass it over to Garvey, who couldn't catch it. They come up to the top to Jack Dunn. Kennedy reaches for that one. Back to Dunn. Nobody really getting into some open space. And then it's Mitchell Jeffroy, who gets hit with that shot. It was a little wide.
That's outstanding defense from Eli Cross.
The entire Calgary defensive group there, sticking tight to their men. Loose ball picked up off the rebound, and Kane Knowlton going for a trot. Drives to the net, spins, puts on his best Evan Printup impression, but goes wide of the net. And it's scooped up by Brian Houghton, who's going to trot up towards center with it. Now, was Houghton out for an entire defensive shift, or did he just come back?
I think he came back for that one.
That's what I assumed, but you never know. Sometimes guys change roles a little bit. And Houghton is settling on the offensive door. There's a penalty coming as James Johnston is buried into the turf, and then he chops down at the last second on Dylan Lavoie's stick. Just the original penalty call going, though, to Preston Woodkey.
We'll see here for the hold. Woodkey almost saw this one coming from a mile away, just how the play was unfolding here. Right there. And luckily for Johnston, if he would have got pulled back a little more, that could have been ugly. Knee bending in an awkward spot.
Calgary on the power play, pop down low. Gets it back from Sundholm. Now we'll throw it, skip pass to Lemire. Lets it rip, the save by Dirkson's shoulder. There's Houghton, banged into the boards, but Fraser slips in to snag that loose ball. Sundholm directing traffic with his head. Lemire fires again. Sundholm off the boards. Takes a little post-goal cross-check from Dylan Lavoie, but just tilts his head away, smiles, and heads to the bench after making it 6-2.
Oh, wow. Someone else besides Colby Fraser can score on this team.
It seems a little weird. Fraser's in the picture, though.
Of course. Logan Sundholm, his 4th point of the game. He's put together quietly a nice little tournament. I mentioned before, creates so much space with that big frame of his, but nice little playmaker. And we see there a nice shot on him as well.
Chance for pup down the middle. He gets run over by Kane Knowlton, as there are a bunch of people trying to occupy the same space. That physical impossibility led to pup being flattened. There's Cale Lundell. He'll toss it up to the top and see what Noah Simonelli can do. Fraser through to Lundell. The save by Dirksen on the quick release. And here go the SWAT in transition. Brody Uzakapi will hand it off. That shot well wide. It's going to bounce into the Calgary bench. It was right at the corner. And the goalies are going to go and have a sip of water. It is 7-2. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. And Calgary, I think when they were eliminated from the medal hunt, I think most people's immediate reaction was they're going to win the Tier 2. After what they've done against Seneca and how good they've looked at times, they're looking like the team that should fulfill that prophecy.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely the heavy favorite to win Tier 2. I know people kind of had them even as a dark horse, to compete in that top 4 finish, but they just missed out. And right now, I mean, they look like a well-oiled machine, and they look like they do deserve to be in that spot.
Sullivan's Construction, established in 1914, is the sponsor for today's game. Thank you to Sullivan for making it possible for us to bring you the 2018 Founders Cup. And to get underway with this Calgary possession, they lead 7-2. And it's a crease violation by Noah Simonelli, so the ball will go back the other way. Shots on goal registering up on the scoreboard is 25-12 in favor of Calgary. So if that's accurate, that gives you a pretty good idea of how they are dominating this game.
Also a good indicator of how well Eric Dirkson's been playing.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's made 18 saves according to that count. Fraser thought about shooting, decided to go for a little over-the-top pass that nobody saw coming, and the ball is scooped up by Nolting. He'll whip it ahead, and the offense gets set Badaway. Thought about going to Jeff Roy, goes to Wist instead. There's an underhand shot. Dryden Quinn couldn't find his spot as it was turned aside by Solanovic. Badaway to Quinn. He'll pass and cut. Nice screen. Kennedy uses that to get a shot off, but Solanovic gets himself tight on the post and stops it.
It's a nice shift by Dryden Quinn, crashing and banging, trying to free up space for Ethan Kennedy there, and like you said, throws that screen that almost produces a goal.
Sidearm rip. Doesn't get through. It bangs off some bodies in front. Lundell comes up with it, tries the one-hand dunk attempt, but it just fell out of his stick and he wound up in the crease. So Saskatchewan goes the other way. The SWAT continually pushing the pace, but not really generating a lot of good chances. One there for Jack Dunn to get it on the net, but Solanovic didn't have too much trouble with it. Saskatchewan, they've got to keep pushing it, keep going. Opportunities will arise. Just another couple of feet of open space, and they're going to have some great scoring chances. That low pass by Robson Ramsey, eventually tracked down. Sundholm from outside in the last couple seconds of the shot clock. Dirksen has pressure on him, will leave it there. And Ludwig, who came to help, is going to run out of trouble. Quinn searching and searching for possibilities, nothing there, and then Badaway comes off the bench, so he hands it off and cuts to the back door. Badaway now perusing, cuts underneath, going to the net, thinks dive, scores. Terrific athletic play by Talon Badaway to look off his defender, and when the defender's head turned even a little bit, boom, he's gone underneath.
You see here, just backing up and just uses that speed. That first step is so deadly for Badaway, and great job recognizing properly crease dive there to keep his body out of the cylinder, and third goal of the game for him, third goal for this SWAT.
Wist and Cross at the dot, having their sticks arranged. Then Cross pops it out to himself, comes down the middle, shoots off the post. It's a pretty nice shot with that face-off twig. You can see it's not too bad twist-wise. And there's a rip by Connor Pupp. We figured he'd get in on the scoring eventually, and he does to make it 8-3 for Calgary.
Connor Pupp just lost his scoring lead for the Shamrocks, so he decides, you know what, I got to get this back. Very casual as well, just recognized defender not stepping up, getting the hand, so he unloads that shot. Maybe a save that Eric Dirksen would like to make, and speaking of which, it looks like Zach Ludwig's now going to come in.
Yeah, Saskatchewan looking to get a spark as we're nearing the midway point of this game. Whoever wins here does go on to the Tier 2 championship game tomorrow at 11 a.m. They'll be facing the North Shore Kodiaks. And whoever loses is done for the week and has to hang around waiting for their flight. It's a pretty strong incentive to come out of this with a win. Coming out with the face-off win is Nicholas Drennan. He'll pass it ahead to Sundholm. He can't quite connect there with Simonelli, but it's tracked down by Brian Houghton. Duck underneath. Lemire can't find any room through though. Nice defense. Dylan Lavoie and Nick Conway, but eventually they do get a shot that is stopped by Ludwig, his first shot he's faced. Rebound picked up by Houghton. Thought they were going to Fraser on the far side, but it comes back to Houghton. His shot is stopped. I think he was okay, but no, I guess he did go through. His foot was right around hovering over the crease, and it's the same rule for through the crease as in the crease. If your foot is over the line at all, then it is a violation. So you can see Houghton was standing out. Sometimes he didn't actually touch the ball, and I think technically the rule is he didn't play the ball. They could have kept going. Bataway's shot goes wide, but a lot of refs will blow that down when a player is shielding the ball with his body, because to them that is playing the ball. And it's hard to argue that you're impacting the play when you're just opening up space for your teammate to pick it up.
Exactly. As you mentioned, Zach Ludwig making his first save. A much different goaltender than Eric Dirksen. Dirksen more of a ball stopper. We'll see Ludwig use his feet and his ankles a lot more.
He's actually kind of hopping around just as the players are moving the ball at the top. He's just trying to find his right spots. Turnover, and here come the Shamrocks again. Sundholm had an open lane, took it, but the save made once again by Ludwig. It's been pretty sharp. Saskatchewan slowly setting up in the offensive zone. Wist waiting for his cohort to join him. There's Dunn. Back over to Wist, who hits the cutting Quinn. That one off the foot of a Calgary player. It was off of Declan Mulholland. You can tell because he's the one hopping around in pain. But he stays out. He's lacrosse tough. And he gets a chop down on the stick of Dunn. Now, that's a pretty nice job to chop the stick and not the player. Automatic penalty should be if you cross-check or slash a player who's on the ground. But he was all over the stick and helps the Calgary Shamrocks get the ball back. They lead 8-3. Just under 8 minutes to go here in the second period. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire on JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2018 Founders Cup here at the Turtle Dome. That pass was a little too tight for Connor Pup. Ball pops loose. It's picked up by Kane Nolting. Makes a nice calm outlet pass, and Dylan Lavoie will just keep things rolling. Penalty coming to Calgary. We have the ball back over center, will necessitate a whistle. Ludwig was moving pretty well getting to the bench there. I guess he's fresh.
He's fresh, and like I said, he's got some quick feet on him as well, and certainly helps when you have a quick goalie to sprint off the floor. Oh, that's a pretty heavy act. I think that's the right call there.
So 2 minutes or less for the SWAT on the power play as Noah Simonelli goes to the box. Dawson Garvey has the ball now and begins play. Wist down to Bataway. Pass from behind comes out to Wist. He's going to go to the back door, but Grey Eyes can't control it. It's off the top of his stick, right off the tip of the head, and drifts up into the netting. Cale Lundell, watched by his alternate number 10, Talon Bataway, or opposite number 10, I guess. There's Lemire. He thought about going underneath for a second as Caden Ludwig seemed interested in the players up above, but he decided to just wait, didn't like the lane for a shorthanded attempt. Now he'll pop out and take a pass as we've got 40 seconds gone in the penalty. Lemire will rip it to Fraser. That's going to be over and back. And a little too hot for Fraser to handle. Here's a chance down on the crease. I thought Aaron Greyeyes was going to go create something there. I would have liked to see it. I love watching this kid run around.
We haven't seen the highlight magic that we saw last week at the World Juniors.
He can't do some of the same things, of course, because of the crease rules. And most of his spectacular goals were crease rules, but the really spectacular one, he was never anywhere. I mean, there's one for Greyeyes, but he just stopped by Solanovic. Saskatchewan will get it back, but I mean, the one that everyone saw, and if you haven't seen it, go look it up. Aaron Greyeyes on YouTube, and he scored a scoop dive behind the back rip that was absolutely breathtaking. There's a pass picked off by Mulholland. He goes for a run. He's got a man coming off the bench, and Sundholm gets it to him. Sundholm had to go up and get it, but he's going to peel back out. Thought about taking the shot, then decided that with Wist closing in, he'd just circle around. Now it comes out. Bit of a battle for that loose ball between Lavoie and Ludwig, and that actually slowed Lavoie down and gave a chance for James Johnston to get in on the forecheck, and that is eating up a lot of time. They're not going to make the 10-second count. Oh, they don't have a 10-second count. They're on the power play, not shorthanded.
I would have liked to see Mulholland, as he passed that off to Lundholm, set the pick on that man there and let Lundholm come around it.
100%. Greyeyes trying to work his way through. Comes out. What a great play, but can't finish. If he puts a couple of those in, we could have some more viral highlights coming out of this tournament. Sundholm, nice job to scoop that one up and then protect the ball. He's getting worked over by Bryce Dueck. Gradually making his way towards Dennis Houghton. Now he'll spin back and go to Sundholm, who let one fly with 7 seconds left in the shot clock. That's going to go all the way down to Solanovic, who'll just have time to fling it the length of the floor as the buzzer sounds. Play blown back in, and Mitchell Jeffroy hands it off quickly. Wist feeds it through, and there's a shot on the run by Dryden Quinn, goes 5-hole, but Solanovic closes that up. Makes the short outlet pass. Yeah, good job with pressure on him. It's not easy to throw with those massive sticks.
He's got the wall, so not quite the woody. He has the...
Oh, great pass.
Ooh.
That one just missed, though. An opportunity for Eli Cross. And now Houghton is trying to keep Greyeyes off the scoreboard. Greyeyes would like that one again because he got that right in the middle of Zach Ludwig, of Nicholas Solanovic, that is. 3:44 to go. It's 8-3 for Calgary. Pup with the ball as we're at even strength. Fraser. Cross to Ramsey. James Johnson will just let her rip. Goes for the bouncer, as he generally does. That was well wide, though. Pup's going to try and get a shot for a reset, but misses the net, and the shot clock will expire. Saskatchewan will take over possession.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Johnson loves that bounce shot. I think every single goal he's scored has been a bouncer. He's been taking it here today. It's just not getting the bounce that he's been looking for.
Yeah, some days they're going in, some days they're not. There's a quick cut. Badaway takes the pass and slams it home. 8-4, Saskatchewan creeping back in, at least trying to.
Trying to, and it's all on the shoulders of Talon Badaway. See here. Nice off-ball movement there by Badaway, who cuts in, and it looks like the SWAT are now trying to work that 2-man, 3-man game on the other side rather than almost an isolation play with the ball on the 2-man side. It seems like they're trying to work away with their lefties.
Badaway's been generating a lot of his own chances. We saw his quick underneath move earlier that led to a goal. In this case, though,
so it's the righties with the ball and
that
driving off ball.
Yeah, that off ball off-ball opportunity can really crank things up, get the Casey Byrnes style where you just zip in, get the ball, and it's out of your stick at the moment it's in it and into the back of the net. Nice job by Badaway. 44-22 are the shots on goal for Calgary, and 8-4 is the score. That's kind of cool that they're exactly 2-1 in both instances. Each team scoring on 1 out of every 5.5 shots. Kel Lundell will set it up and hand it over to Pup. We're just kind of standing there for a moment. It was like a tableau. Now they get going again. There's Cross with a shot. That one's blocked. Curtis Pfeiffer moved the ball across and going for a run is Brody Yazakapi. I'm Steven Stamp, joined by Pat Gregor. I'm passing to go downstairs. Get ready for an interview with Brian Houghton, I believe, in the second intermission. So stay with us when we go to the intermission. For that, we'll get the interview in before a break. This is JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2018 Founders Cup, and that's a save on the Lemire shot by Ludwig. Goes straight back to Lemire. He comes near side to Robson Ramsey, but he can't quite handle the pass. It's going to roll down. Who's going to get to it? It's going to go all the way to Solanovic. Now there's a penalty coming. He was behind the play, so I didn't see what happened. High sticking to Sundholm. Sundholm has been looking a little frustrated on occasion with some of the hits he's been taking as this game has gone on. Maybe not surprising that he eventually took one on retaliation. Saskatchewan, little bounce pass in the power play set. Dawson Garvey gets it back, shoots and scores. Garvey had just been pass, making it look like he was not a threat to shoot, and then all of a sudden he just shifts his hips and rips one home. You can see he's not even really looking at the net, then all of a sudden cranks one up and gets the power play marker. And it was a high sticking major. Just notice that it was 5 minutes to Sundholm. So he is still in the box. Saskatchewan pulls within 8-5, and they have a chance to get back within 2. This is far from over. Ball eventually contained there by Eli Cross. Simonelli goes up to Pup. Saskatchewan, no pressure yet on this penalty kill. Simonelli will pop out and have his turn to hold on to the ball. 40 seconds left in the period. Now there's some pressure. Captain Bryce Duick gets out onto Houghton, who will join Pat Gregoire in the intermission. Houghton content to just hang on to it. Over to Pup now. 20 seconds left in the period. And Calgary's going to take a timeout with 14.9 to go. So you get 2 timeouts per game. You're allowed to take just 1 in a period. So barring overtime, because you can't carry 1 over to overtime if you have one. But barring overtime, you basically just need to use one at this point, or you're not going to be able to. So Calgary will let it get to 20 seconds. The shot clock, of course, not running, so they can pull their goaltender. And Solanovic has already made his way onto the bench, not just near it to get some water. So there are 5 runners on the floor for Calgary who are going to come out and try to generate a chance for a last-second goal. Colby Fraser naturally is out there, along with fellow lefties James Johnston and Brian Houghton. The righties are Connor Pup and Eric Lemire. out on defense for Saskatchewan. It's 5-on-5, actually, of course. So they've got Aaron Greyeyes and Curtis Pfeiffer over on the far side. Right at the top is Dylan Lavoie. Bryce Dewick, the captain, on the near side. Below him on the near side is Caden Ludwig. And the scorekeepers, or the official one, checks on the timeout hadn't concluded its time. So now we go back, 14.9 seconds to play. Calgary with possession, and Colby Fraser will start with it up at the top. They're going to have to wait right till about 2 seconds, 3 seconds to 2 seconds before they take a shot. They start to move. Actually, they shoot. Saskatchewan gets a chance, and that could really not work out well for them. There's a long bouncer and a goal. Aaron Greyeyes, nice athletic play coming out of the pack there with the ball. Steps into space, finds a little room, and bounces it. He's pretty happy to get one. As Greyeyes, the one hopper from mid-floor. And Pat Gregoire, I was saying, they got to wait till 2 or 3 seconds left, and they just went early.
Yeah, you know what? It's as soon as you mentioned that, you thought, oh no, this definitely could end up all the way down the other end. The chances of it happening are slim, but when you have a player like Greyeyes who's such an accurate shooter, he can make things happen.
I kind of feel like the chances are pretty high if you shoot with 6 seconds left, because a loose ball, and all he's got to do is take a rip at it, and he had time there to run into space. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, you are down seeking out Brian Houghton, and Pat has found Houghton, and they are making their way to a center floor. Having just a quick word with his bench, and now he's ready for his moment in the sun. Go ahead, Pat.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Brian, you guys started out real hot. Second period, even gaining some more momentum, but that second half of the second looked like the wheels were starting to fall off. What did you guys do different there as opposed to the first period and a half?
I think it was a lot to do with ball movement. We started to get stagnant on our offense. Just a lot of the small things, Coach is telling us to do one thing, and because you get that lead, guys are a little more laid back, a little more comfortable with a little bit more freelancing, and I think that's a big part of the slowdown is you get up a little lead, and guys want to get their name on the score sheet. I think it's a big issue. So, but other than that, I think we'll go back in the room, and the coach will settle us down, and we'll get back to our game and what the Shamrocks are good at.
Yesterday was a disappointing finish for you, especially after that huge overtime victory, goes down to tiebreaker. Now you guys find yourselves in the Tier 2 semifinals. What was the message from your coaching staff heading into today's game?
The biggest thing was like I'm the only fifth year on the team, so next year we're planning next year. The boys are looking for Founders 2019, and we're gonna make statement games here. We got to come out. The tournament's not done. We still play hard every shift, and we don't get to take days off, and that was the biggest thing. I think they got across for us, and had a big team meeting last night. Got our grievances out. Boys cried. A lot of big things happened, and I think it got us right back on pace to think ahead for the future, because I think this organization and this team specifically has a really bright future.
No doubt about that. Bright future indeed, and bright future as well heading into senior lacrosse as well. So Brian Houghton will look to get his team motivated for the third and final frame here on JVI Sports Network.
Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the 2018 Founders Cup. It is Tier 2 semifinal action, and it's 8-6, a much closer game as we develop. So the Saskatchewan SWAT battling back in to try to catch the Calgary Shamrocks, and here you go, Pat, to see how it got there.
I see another beautiful goal from Talon Badaway. That's number 4 on the day, but we get that pushback from Pup. Just an outside rip that squeezes on by Zach Ludwig, I should say. But once again, Saskatchewan not going away. The outside shot on the power play coming from Dawson Garvey, and that's how we find ourselves 8-6. But this Shamrocks team has a huge advantage coming up. Or sorry, I should say the Saskatchewan Rush have a huge advantage here. With 3:31 left in the power play, can add another goal here and bring it within 1.
Yeah, like you said, 3.5 minutes to go on that man advantage after the major to Sundholm.
They already scored the 1, so
they do have the chance to get one more, as you said. And then, of course, Sundholm would stay in the box until the next stoppage in play, but they would be able to put another play error. The Shamrocks actually had a little tunnel for their players to come out, then they just broke away eventually because they were tired of waiting for the last few guys. There's the schedule for the rest of today. You see the medal semifinals at 5 and 8 p.m. Elora Mohawks, the favorites from Ontario, went 3-0 in their division. The Coquitlam Adanacs, though, had a spectacular game yesterday, the 14-7 win when they had to win by at least 6 to get into the medal round. They did it to knock these Shamrocks out, and they will face Elora. And then the final game, the Seneca War Chiefs, who've had some great games, and maybe not quite as good a game yesterday, yesterday was when they won the big blowout. But they are a very dynamic team, a lot of talent. They're facing a Manitoba Blizzard team, that has been up and down.
Yes.
Had real struggle against Ontario and just didn't look like they had any jump. And then yesterday, with their medal round lives on the line, absolutely came firing out of the gates.
yeah, and it was that big 4, the core 4 we've been calling them all week long, really stepped up, especially Kelson Borisenko.
6 goals and 4 assists and some spectacular play.
Yeah.
And he actually he threw the ball into the empty net from down near his own goal line, but there's only 9/10 of a second left. There's no way that goal is going to count as play resumed at the end of the period. But nice little play by Eli Cross. Wins the faceoff in his left hand, passes his stick around his back to his right hand. But he is pushed out of over the restraining line. And that should have stopped play. That should have been an over and back. Why is Calgary on the power play? I'm really confused. Sundholm is in the box for Calgary, but they didn't score twice, did they? They scored once on it, right?
I saw the 1. I mean, I also was on my way down getting ready for my interview.
Oh, the late goal.
Right.
Okay, they got them both.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Ignore everything that we said to this point in this period. Sorry, folks. So that penalty is clear. It was still up on the board as they came out for the second half here. So as we mentioned, Sundholm stays in the box until the 5 minutes has elapsed, and then he'll get out at the next stoppage in play after that. But we are 5-on-5 on the floor, and there's no over and back or 10-second count in effect for these teams. Sorry about the confusion. West has the ball, so Saskatchewan trying to continue to creep back in. Great give and go, or great 2-man game. And the chance, though, is denied as the shot by Mitchell Jeffroy is turned aside by Solanovic. Houghton feeds it through. Oh, it's a little bit low and not able to be picked up by Colby Anderson. It is grabbed there, though, by Simonelli. He's behind the net. Starts to come out and gives it off to Lemire. He'll go sidearm shot. Pulled it further than he wanted, right into the middle of the chest of Ludwig, who came in to replace Eric Dirksen. So Zach Ludwig gave Saskatchewan exactly the spark they were hoping for. and they are within 2 goals as we are 2 minutes into the third period of this Tier 2 semifinal. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. This is JVI Sports Network bringing you the 2018 Founders Cup from the Turtle Dome in Akwesasne. Ball pops loose, but Badaway tracks it down. His shot hit someone in the front of the net and kind of ricocheted around a bit. Selenovic had to be alert, but now his pass is picked off by Badaway. It's going to be a too many men call on Saskatchewan. And it is a penalty as they were in the defensive zone.
It's a right call there, and you see Talon Badaway was confused off the hop and was about to start arguing with the official, and then he looked back and saw and realized what had happened for his team.
They had a player running to the floor when he realized that they had too many men on us. They're starting to make the change. Then Badaway picked the ball off, so they switched things up a little bit. And I always give the advice to players of any age: if you are called, if you have too many players on the floor, stay on the floor. Don't run off, don't yell, and don't run off suddenly, because the refs will notice that. If you just keep playing brazenly, they may not notice. You never know. That shot, that ball gets away, and Ludwig steps out of his crease, looks around to make sure nobody's around him. Looks like a field lacrosse clear on that one. But the long pass doesn't connect. Eventually you have to throw it because they are on a 10-second count when you are shorthanded. So
the right play there.
Yeah. He was hoping that someone could run onto it, but no one able to get there on time. There's Lemire at the top. The cut to Fraser. Ball gets away from him, and it's almost stunning to see Fraser not get a shot on net there at the very least. That pass was absolutely unseen by Bryce Duick and goes straight to Simonelli. Simonelli pulls back to try and not make the pass, and it pops out of his stick. And then the pass is picked off by Duick. Boy, this is a sequence of, oh, that's Aaron Greyeyes actually. Just a sequence of misplays. But Greyeyes is going to make no mistake as he sprints full speed down behind the net, now lobs it up top. And Mitchell Jeffroy will take his time. He drives to the net. He's going to shoot, save. Lundell almost had it, but great pressure there by Garvey. And he'll earn possession. That's a huge play as they can now kill the final 24 seconds of this penalty. I don't mind that take at all by Jeffroy. Driving to the net, he hit a lane. But it's great for them that he gets it back. There's Greyeyes splitting the D, steps around and shoots. What a goal! There's a little bit of that Greyeyes magic.
Cue the highlight reel. Aaron Greyeyes. That's the electric factor we saw last week. And he points up to the camera to boot. Nice little inside dodge. Gets 2 hands back on the stick. Bounce shot in Bar Mexico. Beauty take by Aaron Greyeyes.
He is going to be a media darling. He's charismatic and he's got incredible talent. I actually interviewed him earlier in the week, and as we're walking across the floor to the spot, he said, I'm no good at this, but he was actually not too bad. Not the most comfortable. He's much more comfortable when he's got the ball in his stick than when he has a microphone in front of his face. But I'll tell you, he is quite the dynamic player. Saskatchewan within 1 as we're 4.5 minutes into the third period. The shots are 44-25 registering on the board. It was, that can't, I think they've stopped counting because it was 44-22 at one point. And since then, Saskatchewan scored 3 goals and only 3 shots have registered. So clearly they stopped counting. So we're going to ignore that to an extent. But the shots were pretty lopsided for Calgary, and Saskatchewan is really turning the tide of this game. They're within 1, and there's a bounce shot from the outside. Curtis Pfeiffer trying to find a spot. Selenovic stops that. He makes the outlet pass, and Mulholland will fly one over the top of Houghton. Nice positioning by Yazakapi, just get in the way, and he'll scoop the ball up, and Saskatchewan takes it back, and just little errors. Early in the tournament, we saw some, I thought, nervousness errors by Calgary, dropping passes, throwing balls away, and then they really got that sorted out, and they just looked so good for most of 2 games. And I don't know, they just seem a bit rattled by what happened with Coquitlam. Certainly hope for them that they can get their game back. You just want to see everyone play their best, and then whoever wins, wins. I love the interview, by the way, with Brian Houghton.
Hey, you know, he's a passionate guy. You can tell that's a guy that sees, you know, only 20 minutes left in his junior career guaranteed, right? He wants to extend it. He said this tournament's not over and he's not ready to call it quits.
Sidearm rip, and Ludwig just braced himself for that shot by Simonelli and turned it aside. Here comes Saskatchewan again. Gray Eyes electric with the ball, even when he's just running up the floor. Now he'll hand it off. And Mitchell Jeffroy.
He's got that strong power cradle in one hand, streaking down the floor. Such a fun player to watch.
Badaway almost connected with Jeffroy, but just trickled off the tip of his stick. He lands in the crease, and possession will go to the Shamrocks. Lemire is off the bench, crosses run. He's going to try and get it to Lemire. It was a bit too high again. The pass just not quite connecting the way that we saw Calgary managing earlier in the tournament. That's a play you do expect Cross to get to Lemire, and Lemire to at least have a good shot at burying that. I feel like they need one big play to really spark them again. There's a save by Selenovic. Not sure if that'll be it off the stop by Badaway. And now there's a penalty coming. And Mitchell Jeffroy has appeared to be getting frustrated over the last few minutes. The last play down for Saskatchewan, the pass just tipped off the end of his stick. Looked like he was upset about something. You know, when we're not down on the floor, we can't really get a sense of what it is, but you can see right here, he's just gonna, you know, I was gonna say the first one, I thought, that's kind of soft, and then he goes harder. Sometimes players just seem determined to get a penalty, and that's the case there.
Jeffroy he's a fiery competitor. He wants to win this game badly, but an undisciplined penalty not going to help his team there.
Lemire takes it to the top from Fraser. He's going to feed it back in. There's Fraser on the crease, misses. It's going to roll all the way back off the boards to Lemire, who goes sidearm, comes back to him, and he is flattened. Another penalty coming to Saskatchewan. This one to Grayson Kwan. Lemire getting up into the face of Lavoie. So Lemire's going to go. I thought the first one was Kwan. But Bryce Dewick is going to the box.
Yeah, it was Dewick who threw that original hit there.
Oh, it was Dewick, okay. Oh, we have a major to Bryce Dewick. 5 minutes for high sticking. I actually thought that there was a Calgary penalty coming as well, but it's just the original. Wow.
Huh.
That has the potential to torpedo this SWAT comeback. Oh, nice cradle. Great spin move by Preston Woodkey to toe drag the reverse lighthouse. And then swimming through 3 players, drops it, picks it up. If he goes and scores, he's going to be my hero. He's going to pull it back out and hand it off so they can go on the penalty kill. What a shift by Preston Woodkey. There's Gray Eyes going to the net, tries the one hand, and I'm not sure that was there, but it's a holding call. He does draw the holding call. There was a reason he was going one hand, and that's because his other arm was tied up. What a drive to the net.
Gray Eyes is exhausted as he walks over to the bench.
He always looks exhausted. Yeah. At any point in the game, he looks like he's just run a marathon. You can see the right arm.
Yeah, that's the right call there.
It's pretty tied up there. John Geib just grabs on and goes for a ride. And once that right arm is free, Gray Eyes points to the man who tackled him. So it's 4-on-3 now for Calgary for the next 55 seconds. Then a Saskatchewan player will get out, and we'll go 4-on-4. And then we'll have about a minute of that. And then the 5-minute penalty to Dewick will come into play. Drive to the net. Badaway very close to having a crease violation. Just avoids it and gets it to Wisp. Wist has Garvey on the far side to help. Garvey's going to go over and clear something off the floor. Multitasking at its finest. They're talking to him. He's going to come off. Now he can't help because he's in the neutral zone, but he'll actually drift back in. I'm not sure if that was a little hidden player trick they were trying to run, but Cale Lundell stays aware of Garvey. He's heading back towards the bench again. And behind the boards there, you can see the Coquitlam Adanacs getting ready for their next game. Drive to the net by Wist, scores. He's just waiting for a momentary lapse in attention. He got it, and he was off to the races for a 4-on-4 goal that ties this at 8. Huge, huge goal for Matthew Wist.
Yeah, Matthew Wist is maybe not getting the attention that Dylan Badaway has been getting, but he is truly a heart and soul player for this team. You just see him see a lane, and he takes it, battles through a few checks, and it's a great finish for Matt Wist. Normally he's taking the face-offs after goals, but he needs a much-earned break after that goal there.
There's a chance right off the face-off for Cross. He doesn't quite find his spot. He had a little hole. It was just about ball size, though, so we had to be very precise. We are tied at 8, nearing the midway point of the third period. 35 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Aaron Greyeyes cradling lackadaisically. We'll pass it off there. And Jeff Roy is going to take a look up. 3 seconds on the shot clock, so Jeff Roy will rip one. No problem for Solanovic, and it's scooped up there.
You mentioned the Coquitlam players walking in. The Galore Mohawks have been here probably since at least halfway through the second, so they're all ready to go for that 5 o'clock game.
Save on the 5-hole shot by Ludwig. And I'm excited for that game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really something. And we'll see what Coquitlam can come up with. Fayez Barde and his staff just knew exactly what they wanted to do. They knew the goals they needed. They knew they thought the bench seal was going to work for them. They ran it over and over. And I went through and checked, and of their 14 goals, 11 were either transition or had some transition residue, as it were, where, you know, the transition kind of had set things up and it wasn't settled beforehand. Saskatchewan will keep possession after that battle. Declan Mulholland and Mitchell Jeffroy getting into it. And now they're going to have John Geib go to the penalty box. And that's just one of those penalties that makes you shake your head, because the refs had already blown play in, said, you know, spread it out. You got to give them some room to get started. Let's just get play going. And he just starts chopping down on a player before play's even blown in. And just like that, we now have the 5-minute penalty to do it is basically canceled out, because there's 1 second difference between the two penalties, and Saskatchewan is in great shape, and I think it's going to come out of this with momentum.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Very costly
Great
penalty.
feed through in the goal. What a beauty by Wist on a perfect pass by Talon Badaway. Great two-man game. Saskatchewan leaps into the lead.
It's another huge goal from Wist. Big bump. Was one of his teammates there during the first intermission. I talked to him and said, it looked like you and Talon Badaway have some chemistry, and that's a perfect example of the newfound chemistry between those two players right there. Perfectly executed bump and run pick.
This game is getting really exciting, and we'd like to thank Sullivan Construction for letting us bring it to you here on JVI Sports Network. And we're thrilled that we're able to make it free for everyone to watch, and that you guys can check it out. And we've been getting thousands of viewers on these games, and hope you're enjoying them. We've been getting great feedback, so we know at least quite a number are, and we're really pleased to be able to be doing it. And thank you for all the kind words that you have said about myself and about Pat Gregoire, and tons of credit to Matthew Carrick and the rest of the crew as well, because they put in a ton of work to make this. Matt Carrick has he was not a tech guy early on. He wasn't a director. He wasn't on that side of the camera. And he has just learned all of this through his career. He started out announcing and grew into that. And, man, he's smooth over there.
Certainly is. And
hopefully he can't hear us, though. We don't want his head to get too big.
Yeah, I had the pleasure to call a game with him this morning, once again with the 11 o'clock. And he still was doing his duties of directing and replay and graphics and pretty much everything you listed, plus, calling the game. And, of course, how do you forget the main man, Gary Morrison.
You can do it if you really try. No, he's the man bringing you these pictures. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Sullivan Construction. And we are back underway with Saskatchewan with possession, with a 9-8 lead, and with all the momentum in the world. Dryden Quinn gives it over to Matt Wist. There's a quick release by Dawson Garvey. Didn't connect. Late in the shot clock, Wist will just launch one in that Selanovic has no trouble with. And he will float one up to Brian Houghton. Houghton showed his passion for the game in his interview with you in the intermission. It hasn't translated yet to results for Calgary here in the third, but he's going to battle, try and get that ball back. This is a big loose ball fight, and Calgary comes up with it. Great job. Nice work by Noah Simonelli. Bryce Trimmer over to Houghton. Feeds it through behind the back. Simonelli had it past Ludwig, but Ludwig got just enough to have it rolling. I don't think that was even going to roll in. It seemed to be going parallel to the goal line, but it was close.
Better safe than sorry, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, you grab it. Last thing you want to do is just be like, oh, that's good. I'll just leave it there. Bataway with the ball. Stick in one hand. Now tries to feed it through. Doesn't quite connect with Wist. It's a back in call. Mulholland doesn't like it. Has the ball swatted out of his stick by Jack Dunn. So he gives him a tap back. No calls coming out of that one. Bataway, great feed, but what a check by Robson Ramsey, just getting onto Jack Dunn's stick before he could catch it. Here comes Mulholland now. Players are out of the penalty box. And John Geib had a moment of panic as he stepped out of the box, saw the ball coming right at him in Mulholland's stick, and just jumped into the change box by the door so they could get a forward out. Heads up play. That play doesn't work out for Calgary in the long run, though. Here comes Saskatchewan on the run. Duick's going to run some interference. Oh, and the ball got out of Gray-Eye's stick way before he even tried to take that shot. Well, but 2 strides before.
Yeah, that was Eli Cross throwing a beautiful check.
Houghton. Watched there by Lavoie. They'll toss it over to Trimmer. Waiting for their 5th man on the attack. That's Colby Fraser, who will get it. Lots of room, shoots. There's a save by Ludwig. Might look like a pretty easy save, but we've seen Fraser connect from there frequently. He's a great shooter. Feeds it through. Trimmer with the shot as he was drifting away from the net. That one was fairly easy for Ludwig. And Saskatchewan will go back up the floor. 6.5 to go, and the SWAT have come back from an 8-4 deficit to take a 9-8 lead.
Quite the gritty performance thus far. Still, like you said, 6 minutes to go. Still lots of time to play for both teams.
And with, Colby Fraser and Connor Pupp, and there's lots of talent on this Calgary squad that could come and get a goal in a heartbeat, but they can't be just lofting up passes like that. Nobody coming back to help. Cale Lundell just kind of threw a pass away. Didn't have a whole lot of help, as we said.
No.
Boy, did Dawson Garvey ever want that ball, as he was down low, but they decided the lane wasn't there. So Dryden Quinn will get a shot off. That goes off of Selanovic up into the mesh.
Yeah, it looked like Selanovic, a little bit of a delayed reaction to that save. Not too sure if he was screened from some bodies out in front.
West is surveying. So far doesn't like anything he sees. He just wants to get a shot off. He does. Bounces into the padding of Selanovic. He will hand it with his bare hand over. And here comes Calgary on the offensive set. Lemire. Far side. They feed it through. It doesn't connect with Lemire on the give and go as Cross was trying to get it to him. Again, Calgary just having trouble connecting on their passes. There was some pressure on that one, but those are passes you expect this team to make. Ethan Kennedy with the ball. Gives it to Bataway. Aaron Greyeyes will come out for an offensive shift. He'd actually started heading to the bench, I thought, from his defensive role. Then they directed him back out. He's going to get the pass from Badaway. Badaway's going to spin off and try and shoot himself. Does so, but was hit as he did it. Grey Eyes will get it, and now interference was called. Now a penalty coming to Saskatchewan. Is that going to be delay a game to Badaway? We'll see.
It's a roughing. Yeah. Both Badaway and one of the defenders for the Shamrocks are going back and forth here. You'll see.
Right in the middle of your
Declan
screen.
Mulholland, watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's been going on. I mean, Mulholland was involved earlier on top of the crease when Jack Dunn swatted the ball out of his stick after the possession call when he was a little slow giving it up. So the tensions have been rising a bit, as they're wont to do in the course of a lacrosse game.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not a good penalty to take
No.
when your team has gone up 9-8, and then you give Colby Fraser a chance like that. He misses it, but it comes out to Sundholm. He misses by even further, and the ball is going to bounce back all the way over center. Lemire will track it down. They've got 6 on the shot clock. Gets it to Fraser. Tries to duck the check. Nice work by Grayson Kwan to stay in touch. And that will help the 30-second clock expire. That's a great job by Kwan to come up, because Fraser's so dangerous to step underneath, and Kwan just tangled him up.
A little bit of a hole, but not enough, I
Yeah.
think, to get a penalty at that point. Just towing that line perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, I was thinking the same thing. It could be called, but I mean, he kept the hands on the stick, had the one hand slightly off the stick, but just not clutching on, not reaching out.
If it's the first period, I think you maybe see that call, but
yeah.
at this point in the game, I don't think the officials are making that call.
Pup has it back to Fraser. They're the dynamic duo, but they feed it into James Johnston, and Mighty Might rips one home. I hope he doesn't mind me calling him Mighty Might. He is very small, and he is very mighty. What a great finish.
What he lacks in size, he regains in skill, and you'll see it fully on display here. Great ball movement, just back and forth between Pup and Fraser. The defenders get distracted, and what happens is just James Johnson goes to the middle, gets that ball in the middle, and cashes in another low shot. I don't think we've seen him shoot above the goalie's kneecaps the entire tournament.
No,
perfectly placed.
Wasn't a bouncer, but it did hit the floor about, 6 inches behind the goal line? It was headed right down there. And the Selly game is strong with Johnston as well.
Oh, yeah.
He gets fired up
He's
when
a
he
fiery
scores.
competitor.
I like seeing guys enjoy scoring goals. 9-9. We've got 3.5 minutes for someone to break this tie. Fraser's going to try to do it. He shoots wide, but it comes right out. Lemire and Simonelli were both there for that one. Simonelli will come away with it, or will he? Still can't pick the ball up. Rolls it so Lemire can grab it, but he gets up out of his stick, and the time is down to 3 on the shot clock. There's a shot by Lemire, a nice defense, but boy, Calgary is just, it's strange to see the team that beat Seneca with such a fantastic performance playing the way that they are here, just in terms of some of the little, not managing the ball, not valuing possession. Still a lot of good things happening for them, but Matthew Wist with the shot. That's stopped by Solanovic. Goes short side for him to Mulholland. Lobs it ahead to Houghton. 2.5 to go. 5 possessions based on 30 seconds apiece. Can somebody use one of them to get what would be a winning goal? Johnston hands it off. There's a feed through the middle, can't get there, but Sundholm is the first one on it. Ball still bouncing around on the floor. Johnston gets it, shot clock will expire.
Strong defense there from the SWAT. No chance. A little bit of a bend, don't break defense. Gave up a couple of solid looks, but nothing that was too dangerous.
Grey Eyes with a chance. Tries the toe drag. Has it stripped away. Goes after it. Ball bounces up in the air. 12 seconds as it comes out. There's a rip by Dryden Quinn that doesn't get through. Quinn gets it back. They're down to 5 on the shot clock. Matt Wist. Long one. Goes wide. Comes back to him. He just kind of smacks it ahead. Goes past Solanovic. Got 1:37 to go for someone. to end this before we go to overtime.
Defense is really upping the ante here. That's 2 back-to-back 30-second shot clock violations we've seen.
Connor Pup gets one. He's been fairly quiet today, but he shows you how mercurial he can be as he slips quickly into space and rips one home to make it 10-9 Calgary.
I love how he attacks the net. He starts out slow and very unassuming, making it look like he's not a threat. You see the slow trot and then boom, one quick cut. And as that check's coming, he's so strong on the ball, he's able to still, on that back foot, unleash that shot. And just like that, he gives his team a 10-9 lead with 1:24 to go.
Big face-off here. Lob pass ahead, just too far for Grey Eyes. He'll track it down out of the corner. What can he create? Lundell watching him. Lobs it up top to Wist, and Grey Eyes is going to go to the bench. Out comes Dryden Quinn. Final minute, Saskatchewan. With this, they give the ball up. Mulholland gets it, runs out of trouble. And the SWAT looking to get one more chance. Calgary quite happy to have the clock ticking away, but the ideal for them obviously would be to get a shot late in the shot clock, get a rebound, and set things up again. 8 on the shot clock. They let it rip. That one's high from Simon Elliott. It's picked up. Timeout taken by Saskatchewan with 24.6 seconds to go. Might have had a little breakaway there.
Would have been close, I think. I think it would have been close, but the timeout was called, I think, when they decided even before.
Yeah.
All right, guys, as soon as we get possession, we're calling timeout. So one of those things where everyone on the floor, all they're worried about is calling that timeout, regardless of what the situation is on the floor, even if it could have been a breakaway.
And you like, I mean, the 6-on-5 you can set up. It's a good opportunity. I kind of like, with that much time, I get it if there's going to be, if the shot clock is going to expire and you're going to have about 10 or 12 seconds left, then just go ahead. But we're going to take a peek. On the left, you can see Aaron Grey Eyes. Bit of a squirt there on Ethan Kennedy. Kennedy mock threatens him.
But to see they're still having fun here. They find themselves down 1 goal in the Tier 2 semifinals.
We've seen a lot of teams having fun. One that jumps to my mind is the Elora Mohawks the other day in their pregame warm-up. Had a little talent show.
Yeah.
They had people doing some dancing, some singing. They were literally performing. They had some faux curling where somebody set up a glove. They rolled the ball towards it, and 2 guys were sweeping with their sticks. It was. They were pretty excited when they made the shot, even though they had to cheat to do it, because they burned the rock. Clearly, they tapped it with one of their sticks. Saskatchewan, 19 seconds to play. They can go whenever they want. An empty net goal means nothing. You either score here or you don't. Doesn't matter if something happens. Oof. But the spinning shot by Wist goes up out of play. They had a chance. Not a bad take. He just couldn't get himself set to get a good shot on goal. Pressure by Saskatchewan. Nice pass across. It's going to be taken by Lundell off the boards. 1 second left. He will run it out of danger. And a grinding win for the Calgary Shamrocks over the Saskatchewan SWAT. Calgary will go on to the 5th place game, or the Tier 2 championship game. And Saskatchewan is done for the tournament, but what an effort by the men in green and black.
Yeah, you know what? They cannot be hanging their heads here, leaving the Founders Cup. It was a valiant effort from every single player involved in today's game, and even the one player who didn't get to finish the ride. Spencer Stone broke his collarbone in 3 different places, but each game, it was great to see he still suited up, wore his jersey and shorts, and came out and really was still a part of that team. And I mean, I think things are really on the way up in the prairies with the Saskatchewan SWAT, whether it be the Junior A level, the Junior B level, and even minor lacrosse as well.
Yeah, and bear in mind, we've talked about this before, Saskatchewan moved up to Junior A 3 years. This is their 3rd year with the Junior A program. And that just they were a Junior B program, so everybody moved up at one point. You had to replace the entire, it's like starting from scratch for Junior B, except they did have some infrastructure and things in place. And so that, pretty impressive stuff for them to be building up, and they've got promising future ahead of them. We're going to hang on for the player of the game presentations. Calgary will be back on the floor tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. facing the North Shore Kodiaks, and they're going to be very excited to get a chance for that. I know the Kodiaks are thrilled to be in that 5th place game, and the Junior C team from Quebec. There is Callum Badaway, the player of the game for Saskatchewan, and for Calgary, we're going to guess Colby Fraser. Oh, Nicholas Solanovic gets the player of the game nod for Calgary. So that will wrap things up, unless you have some final thoughts, Pat.
No, you know what? The next game should be great. You got the powerhouse Elora Mohawks taking on a team that shocked everyone yesterday with a perfectly executed game plan in the Coquitlam Madanax. I can't wait for it.
5 o'clock, be with us here on JVI Sports Network. I'm Stephen Stamp on behalf of Pat Gregoire and the JVI crew. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in an hour.